Hello, and welcome to Cases. Tonight we'll be talking to 3 victims of stalking. 12 to 16% of women and 4 to 7% of men are affected at least once in a lifetime. There are over 2.3 million Canadians who have been stalked. The majority of victims are women between the ages of 18 and 30 with higher economic range and are single and living alone.
I didn't know what to do. I was terrified.
I was stripped away from my basic human rights.
I just felt so angry.
I could not eat and I could barely sleep.
Stalking can have severe psychological, economical, and social impacts on victims. In general, victims are likely to exhibit depression, confusion, fear, distrust of others, sleep disturbances, appetite problems, and psychosomatic symptoms. There are stalkers obsessed with someone they know, and then there are stalkers who are obsessed with strangers. Our first example, Mandy Bloomer, has been stalked by someone she's known for 10 years. This is a case of ex-intimate lover.
2 years ago, my boyfriend and I broke up. He didn't want to. He wanted to try to fix things, but it was already over for me. 1 year ago, that's when the trauma started. He started texting me all the time. He called me 4 times a day. He talked to me about things on Facebook that I posted. This one time, I went on a date and my ex-boyfriend was following us. I was furious, I was scared, I didn't understand his level of obsession.
79% of stalkers knew their victim. 49% of these relationships are romantic. Stalking appeared after relationships have ended. Sometimes stalking occurs anonymously and the victim never even sees the perpetrator. This is like in our second case, a high-profile lawyer, maybe you've heard of her, Annie Welsh. She is an example of delusional stalking.
As I was leaving the office one night, this man approached me and he said that he'd seen me on TV before. And he kept saying, "Oh, I've seen you before on TV and I just know by the look of your face that you needed my help." And then I stepped back a little bit and then he kept repeating that I was his girlfriend and that we'd be destined to be together forever. But I'd never met this guy before in my life. So every time I'd go to work, I noticed him in the background. Every time I'd walk back home, I'd see him lurking around in the neighborhood. Every time I'd go grocery shopping, he'd be there. So obviously I contacted authorities, but despite that fact, he would still show up everywhere, and that's when I really felt harassed. I was confused, I was threatened. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if my life was in jeopardy.
60% of women victims reported being afraid that they might be killed. Stalking can even occur through the web. Max Powers was a victim of cyberstalking.
So what happened was, this woman contacted me online and she said she wanted to meet up. I had no idea who she was. I didn't answer because I thought it was a spam, and then she kept messaging me. At one point I sent her an email back and I was like, "Stop emailing me. I don't know you and I don't want anything to do with you." And then I get a message after maybe 2-3 weeks after I changed my email, and she sent me pictures of herself, and and my wife saw it, and it was kind of scary anyway. And then she started sending emails to my wife, and yeah, it was scary.
7% of the stalking victims contacted the police. If you experience or witness any signs of stalking, do not hesitate to reach out for help. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Cases.